Okay, good afternoon. Again, we continue with this class, and I just want to share with you that we finished on the 4 points. Now we have to go on to the fifth point, and the fifth point is that auxins, they have an effect which is called as the prevention of abscission. Prevention of abscission. Well, if you look at the excuse me, if you look at the leaves and the fruits, excuse me, girls, you will see that these leaves and fruits in a plant, before they fall, they need to there should be a wound from here. Okay, before the leaves fall, there should be aging of the leaves, and also the leaves should detach from the main plant body, isn't it? Even with fruits, for fruits when they are ripe, there should be a region of abscission, or an abscission zone means a zone where the part of the leaf or the fruit detaches itself from the plant. Okay, so because of the presence of auxins, this effect will be reduced. That means the aging effect of the plant will be reduced. Isn't that wonderful? uh, Sadly, for humans and animals, you don't have such an hormone where you can reverse the effect of aging. Otherwise, many people would be rushing to produce such a hormone which would reduce or slow down aging process. But in plants, you have such a hormone which will help the plant to uh, to to slow down the process of aging, which means that the plants the leaves will not shed immediately. um, Even the trees which have fruits, they will the ripening time will be increased if we add the auxins. Okay, so let's read. Abscission: the growing of leaves and fruits produce a lot of auxins, which is transported to the stem, and this retards or it slows down senescence or aging of the leaves. And abscission. Abscission means to wound or to break. The shorter days of fall, drought, or the lack of nutrient causes less production of auxin, and this begins senescence. No wonder when you encounter when you see that there is a less amount of water in the region, when there is a drought, the leaves will start to fall off, isn't it? That is because auxin concentration has decreased, and because there is less auxin, the plant will start to shed its leaves, and it will start to uh, age. Okay, even when a plant has approached autumn, have you seen the autumn season is the most for me it is the most beautiful season, because those that time the leaves are shedding, the trees are shedding their leaves. So this, during autumn, the auxin concentration is less, which results in the decrease in auxin, which will result in the shedding of the leaves. Okay, so how does the exact mechanism, we can explain the mechanism part. Okay, okay, so uh, the mechanism of senescence, we can say, what is senescence? Senescence means aging. Okay, so what happens during senescence? We are talking about senescence now. Senescence is, what does it mean? It means aging. Okay, or aging, uh, or the shedding of the leaves. Okay, so this part is not this is not related to abscission, but it's just explaining to you. I will just take it off and keep it here. Well, what happens, okay, when it is when there is senescence, a senescence factor will be produced, okay, and this factor, it stimulates the cells, it causes the cells to form ethylene. Remember ethylene? This hormone is not going to be studied in detail, but ethylene is important. Why? Because ethylene is it helps in aging, it promotes aging. So there is a factor which is present in the cells which promotes the cells to form ethylene, and this ethylene will produce a enzyme which is called as cellulase, okay, and from the word cellulase you understand that this enzyme will break down the cellulose, and as it breaks down, it digests the middle lamina, okay. When you look at the leaves, when you look at the leaves, you have a sorry, I will draw it properly. This is the leaves, right? So this is the middle lamina, okay. So this enzyme cellulase will digest the middle lamella and will cause the cell to break down and separate, which will cause the leaves to fall or break off, okay, because the middle lamella is being worked upon by the enzyme cellulase. Who is the enzyme producing cellulase? It is ethyl. It is not enzyme. It is the hormone ethylene. So the opposite of that is that with the presence of auxins, remember, when you have auxins, it will slow down this abscission process. It will not promote. It will not promote abscission, but it will slow down, slow down, or it will delay abscission, okay. So that is one of the effects of auxins. Now another important phenomenon of another important physiological effect of auxins we can study is parthenocarpy, okay. What is parthenocarpy? I think you've heard of parthenocarpy. I'll show you some examples of parthenocarpy here. Well, parthenocarpy is the formation of fruits without any fertilization. Okay, fruits that are produced without fertilization are called as parthenocarpic fruits. So in nature, sometimes you have parthenocarpic fruits which are formed without the process. It did not have to undergo the process of fertilization of the male and female gametes. It there is direct growth of the fruits. So it is uncommon in it is not uncommon in nature, because in the ovaries, okay, if you look at the ovary here, this is the picture of the this is the in a normal the way a normal fruit is formed is when there is supposed to be there's supposed to be, first of all, fertilization of the pollen grain. Pollen grain will enter and fuse with the female egg. Then when it fuses, it forms the zygote, and then the fruit will form at this stage, okay. But in parthenocarpy, the ovary has if it has high concentration of auxins, what happens? It will produce fruits which are in without so that's why you will see that these plants, which are parthenocarpic fruits, they do not have seeds. Okay, because the ovary is stimulated to produce the fruit even when there is no fertilization involved. Okay, so here is an example of a seedless watermelon where, because of there is no fertilization involved, obviously the seeds cannot form, and so the see here the seed is formed when there is fertilization, but since fertilization is not taking place, therefore there is no seeds formed. That is how you get seedless fruits. Okay, um, so with the help of auxins, you can have parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, fruits that are formed without the process of fertilization. And then let's look at the seventh point. The seventh point is that auxins, they help in callus formation. What is callus formation? If you look at callus, uh, let me show you. You know, in the laboratory, uh, callus is a mass of undifferentiated cells. Okay, you can see here, callus is just a mass of cells that have not differentiate into any. They have not formed anything. They have not formed the leaves or the stem or the xylem and the phloem. So um, suppose if you take this mass of cells, because in tissue culture you will be studying callus or callus formation. So how does callus formation take place? You see, plants have this ability to form new plants even if you take just a part of the plant, and that phenomenon is called as totipotency. Okay, just as in humans and other animals, they do not have the totipotency phenomena, because once you cut off the hand, you cannot expect the hand to regenerate anymore, right? Whereas in plants, they have the totipotency ability, which is to grow new plants from just just a group of cells also. So keeping this in mind, the scientists have made a they have done experiments where they took just a piece of the plant, okay, and they place it in a medium. This is a medium which is containing all the growth hormones including auxin, and when they keep auxins, add auxins in this growth medium, this callus will start to actively divide, because auxin helps in cell division. Okay, and it helps in cell differentiation. So just as I showed you in the previous picture, that from the apical meristematic cell, it can give rise to either the epidermis. Where is that picture? From the apical cell meristem, you can have it can either form the epidermis, or it can form the ground tissue, which is the parenchyma, or it can form the vascular tissues. So the same way is the same experiment in the same way we can induce the plant. Can you see here in this diagram? Here is just a basic callus formation. When you add auxins, then there will be cell differentiation, which will lead to the growth of the plant to form a individual plantlet. Okay, so here also is another example where you see just a part of the plant is being placed on the medium which is present, which contains all the growth promoters including auxin. Then the plant will start to form a callus, The callus will then will start to differentiate to form either the stem, the leaves, the roots, okay, and then it will form an individual plant. So we can say that auxins have an effect on callus formation. And then yeah, those are the main points. We have the last point is for respiration. Now auxins also stimulate respiration. When you have auxins, when you add auxins, there will be higher respiration rate. As you know, plants not only have photosynthetic ability, but they can also respire. Um, but we used to think that plants they only produce oxygen, but they also require oxygen in for their um, you know they take in oxygen as well, but that is not so much. But auxins help to increase the rate of respiration. And what does respiration do? Respiration converts ATP. ATP is a high energy molecule which is utilized, and it forms in respiration. ATP is converted into ADP. Okay, so because of the presence of auxins, there will be increase in the rate of respiration. So those are the some of the effects of auxins. I hope that you've understood them, because they are the main one is cell elongation and apical dominance, and these are the subsequent, or these are the effects which are not so dominant, whereas the two, you can remember these two as the main effects of auxins. Okay, so we'll have to end here with this topic, and I will start with the next topic tomorrow.